Wheeler's out of a little dash. McCoy across the line. Sherritt says somebody clinched on that offensive line, and was it Xavier Fulton? You've given him a little attention. Now the Eskimos all pointing at him.
Offside. Edmonton number 45. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Well, not the case. And Fulton said, yeah, I just jumped. So Chris Jones' team only 25 penalty yards last week of the game against BC.
Yeah, that was the best for any team all year long. The lowest amount of penalty yards in one game.
And interesting that they are the most penalized team in terms of yards on the season.
Here we go again.
This time we got the flinch.
So those two plays didn't happen. Let's start again.
Procedure. Saskatchewan number 57. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So that's Labatt who flinched. So forget the last two plays ever happened. We'll go 1st and 10.
And here we go again. Make it the hat trick.
And we'll debate who moved first again.
I think Kerry Joseph is saying to the officials that the defensive line is calling signals out. And I'm just speculating here, but Kerry Joseph turned and went right to the officials as if they're deliberately trying to call signals.
And this isn't new in the league. Seen teams try this, and this time Watman rocked, but
offside. Edmonton number 97. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
But they're going to call Eddie Steele offside. Top Canadian nominee for the Eskimos. See if you see a movement on.
Let's see if we see any movement. Go ahead and run it, guys, downstairs. You see Watman rock back the right guard. Steele pointed at him. Looked like he moved off Watman's movement.
Anthony Allen busts through inside the 10, down to the 7. First down. So they continue to churn it up on the ground here in the first half.
Well, and they're going off that left side. Xavier Fulton at tackle. Brendan Labatt, outstanding offenseman from a year ago at guard. He gets on McCoy. That when you get your guard on the second level and get him to the linebackers, that's what the running backs absolutely love, because it gets them in the secondary.
Timeout, Edmonton.
Now the Eskimos call timeout. 1st and goal, Saskatchewan. Just their 8th trip to the score zone in the last 5 games.
Not surprised at all. This has been the MO for Saskatchewan offensively all year. It's a run-first team, a team that is closer than any team to running the ball 50% of the time. I mean, their split pass and run is 56% pass, 44% run.
What do you think Chris Jones is telling them?
Discipline.
Odell seemed to co-chair the meeting.
Well, he's the mayor or the governor or the prime minister. I'm not sure.
So 1st and goal. Roughriders. And he swings it to Corey Williams. Boy, that was a long delay. Williams to the goal line. Is he in? Roughriders want a signal.
He's down by contact on the 1. Weston Dressler looks like he'd like Corey Chamberlain to challenge that spot.
We'll take a look at it. Didn't look like he might have had a shot at the goal line.
I'm surprised the play even happened with the quick pass rush from Odell Willis, but did the ball cross the plane before the knee was down?
Looks like a touchdown, doesn't it?
I couldn't see the knee from that angle. This might be a better angle here. We're just not going to have the perspective of when the ball crosses. Knee down there.
But almost mentioned
Yeah, that
challenge flag has come out. So
this may be the best look.
Knee down there, and it might be short. It looks like he is going to be
Saskatchewan
short.
is challenging that there was a touchdown on the play. We'll review it.
You know what, Chris? I'm not sure that knee was down.
Now, let's take one more look, because we might have called that before the knee had touched.
Because if the knee hits and then bounces back up, it had touched from that angle, but I'm not sure it did. One more on this one. Now it's kind of blocked by the official there.
And you're just not sure when that knee is down.
Based on how difficult it's been for us, we showed you all the angles that they'll have in the command center.
I thought live he was in, but based on the fact they called him down at the 1.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was down before he crossed the plane to the goal line. Second down.
They're going to say he was definitely down. I was going to say it was not
enough evidence.
Not enough evidence.
But
either way, it's second and goal from the 1.
From the 1 yard line.
Gary Joseph, right side. He's in now. Touchdown.
Did he fake going to the left side on a quarterback sneak? Only a veteran in his 111th start has the confidence to knock the football and just slam it behind your center, or you go and pick a side. I think he did. He froze for a second, faked to the left, and then drove the ball to the right side of the offensive line and got a couple yards deep in the end zone.
First touchdown for Joseph in his return. 41-year-old hits pay dirt, and the Roughriders have a 7-1 lead. Early here in the second quarter, it was a 96-yard drive, capped by a 1-yard plunge.
I want to take you back to the play that got the ball to the 1 yard line and show you Odell Willis, how he just kind of throws his shoulder in there and doesn't tackle anybody. He's back in the backfield before the play action fake to Anthony Allen. And yet Gary Joseph just says, hey, if you're not going to tackle me, I'll just keep executing the play. I got it down to the 1.
Here's Kendall Lawrence, who had the kick return touchdown the last visit to Mosaic. Reverse field here, and he's got another good return. And is down at the 44-yard line as we check back in with Lee Jones. Well, we'll get to lead, but right now with Chris Milo in some
Major
difficulty.
foul. Unnecessary roughness. Saskatchewan number 3. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Milo involved on the tackle with Kendall Lawrence.
Looking at his left knee. Looked like Kendall Lawrence, just before he was about to get tackled, just sort of dove at the legs of the tacklers, including Chris Milo. So watch Kendall Lawrence as he's about to take contact here. He just kind of goes down, and you don't expect that as a player coming in to make the tackle. You just don't expect that a running back's going to dive down to your legs like that.
And Mark Legree, the Roughriders Rookie of the Year, also shaken up on the play. And while the players get attention, we will step out here at Mosaic. Ivan Goodfriend checking the knee of Chris Milo, and while he continues to get attention, let's check back in with Lee Jones.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. A man who has some concern right now, the Riders president and CEO, Jim Hobson. This is actually his last home game. He's leaving the organization after this season. Jim, you've had success on and off the field, but what's been your favorite part with your 10 years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
This right here, game day. Being able to be here and part of the team. Hey, big play. No, it's been a great run. And, of course, last year was the most special year ever with Grey Cup here and winning it. A lot of great memories.
Now, you told the organization that you were going to leave at the beginning of the season, so they've had some time to find your successor. How are things going right now to find who's going to replace you?
I understand well. I've tried to stay, out of it because it's up to the board, but they feel good. Tremendous amount of good applicants, and I understand they're getting down to the final now, and hopefully by the end of the month they'll have someone in place.
All right, Jim, back again.
Thank you.
Nichols downfield, it's intercepted. Easy pickings for Rod Williams, who has his second interception of the year. Matt Nichols under pressure, puts it up for grabs.
Under pressure, and because of that pressure, just makes a poor decision. It was the decision to try and throw as he was backing up like that. Really no chance to complete this pass. He doesn't like what he sees. Good coverage in the back end initially. Then the protection breaks down a bit. He's got Derek Walker trying to throw it and duck away from that pressure. And he had Fred Stamps was a good 10 yards away from that. Just a poor decision by Matt Nichols.
So the Roughriders take over at their 24-yard line. Allen in the backfield. Anthony Allen straight ahead. Plow close to the 30.
No, easy to say, project the guy's numbers if he would have played in all the games. Missed a couple when he was a healthy scratch, missed a few because of injury. Last couple because of cramps. Was a scratch 2 games ago, but if you project his numbers, well over 1,000 yards for Anthony Allen this year, it would have been second behind John Cornish.
921 yards for Allen, and that one almost picked off. Tight coverage there from Otha Foster on the Eskimo corner. And a 2-and-out after the interception.
This is the Chris Jones style of defense where he likes to get his defensive backs up in press coverage. You've seen them actually jam receivers together, not allow them to run their routes, and this time Foster cut underneath that, had a crack at it.
So Bartel to punt. Kendall Lawrence awaits. Tumbling kick to Lawrence at his 40. And brought down immediately. Sam Hurl down in a hurry. University of Calgary product with the special team tackle. Edmonton football when we come back. With the playoff spot secured, we might not have seen Mike Riley this week anyway, but late in the game last week against BC, on this play, they started to look at his foot, and there are some reports that it may be more serious than the Eskimos are telling us. Matt Nichols' game right now, and he hands it off. Tyler Thomas bounced off first contact, and look at him down to the Rough Rider 40-yard line. What a burst from Thomas and 28 yards.
What Thomas is doing well so far tonight is he's using patience. He's just sort of waiting behind the line, letting some things develop, letting the defensive line sort of react, and then bouncing outside. He's got the quick start speed to be able to, that first 20 yards acceleration, to be able to get those big gains.
Marche Green made the tackle. They take to Thomas and give the ball to Calvin McCarty, who has another first down, 16th catch of the year for McCarty.
Yeah, I think we should be real clear that the Edmonton Eskimos have not made any official reports about the health of Mike Riley, and that there are some rumors that the injury is a little more serious than first thought, but you never know.
Did not practice this week.
Did not practice all week.
Players in Edmonton do not practice.
That's right. So a little bit of speculation out there as we get close to the playoffs, and that's pretty much par for the course.
consecutive first downs. And back to Thomas off the right side, and he plows down to the 22. Good series for Tyler Thomas, who looked like he won the job as the starting running back in training camp, and after the first 2 weeks, they went away from him to John White.
Yeah, and this is a good drive and a good game for Matt Nichols, because with the uncertain Mike Riley, this is an important game for Matt Nichols to get the confidence of his teammates that he can go ahead and run this offense, because this is maybe the hottest team, and no disrespect to the Montreal Alouettes, who lost tonight but had a 6-game win streak going, but maybe the hottest team in the league.
Thomas again, straight ahead. Got to the 20.
Edmonton Eskimos coming off wins against BC, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, and then had Saskatchewan and Montreal wins before that. So Chris Jones had this team playing at a very high level in the back half of the season, one of the hottest teams in the league, and if he doesn't have his starting quarterback available, and that's a big if at this point for that Western semifinal, then he wants to make sure Matt Nichols has all the reps and all the confidence he can get, and his teammates have the confidence in him.
Third and that long yard in Rough Rider territory. You don't want to look too far ahead, but you see what Jonathan Crompton's done in Montreal. Matt Nichols was ahead of him. He's going to be a free agent, and you'll wonder. I mean, he's primarily trying to get his team ready for the playoffs, but it's a nice way to showcase your own talents.
Well, you know, we've talked about how offenses and points are down. Offensive play and points are down in the CFL this year, and if you're looking for a reason as to why, there's two of them. One is the play of the defense. Sometimes defense wins. The other is we've seen 27 different quarterbacks play this year, and even the starters, the Bull Levi Mitchells, Matt Nichols, and even Mike Riley. Mike Riley's only had 35 games that he started. I mean, even the starters, the young guys that are coming through, are still young quarterbacks. They're going to have some hard times. And those are the two reasons.
Just by the nose of the football, a first down, and nobody in Saskatchewan needs any more evidence than the loss of Darian Durant to what it's done to their team this year. So Nichols to the sidelines, and Pat White now comes into the game, trying to keep this drive going against the wind midway through the second quarter. Eskimos just number 6 in the red zone this year. White on the roll, now throws, incomplete. Looking for Nate Kuhorn.
You know, he could become valuable, Pat White, and I mean, when he runs this veer, not necessarily in the passing game, where if Mike Riley's this, or Matt Nichols, you want them to be throwing the ball more than anything else. But when he runs that option offense, great running quarterback in combination with John White, that could be dangerous in the playoffs.
2nd and 10. Pressure on, he got away, got a man, and a completion. Paris Jackson the catch, and he'll be close to the first down.
It's a good pickup for the Edmonton Eskimos. You know, they weren't going to get Shamad Chambers back, get some Canadian depth, but a veteran that come playoff time can make you this kind of catch. I mean, this is a guy who's played in playoff games before, got lots of experience, not going to be affected by cold weather.